Despite the apprehension that many may have towards mobile gaming, there are actually quite a lot of great games available. Genres like role-playing games especially thrive, and whether it's ports and original IPs, turn-based combat, or looters, there's something for everyone. So let's take a look at 15 of the best role-playing games for iOS and Android. Knights of Pen and Paper 2, iOS and Android. Role-playing as a group of D&D players and their dungeon master as they role-play their own adventure? Well, that's Knights of Pen and Paper for you. The sequel, developed by a different studio, offers less grinding and an overall easier experience to battle through. With features like a mega dungeon, an all-new campaign, and new character classes, Knights of Pen and Paper 2 is worth checking out, even with the in-app purchases. ETERNIUM, Mage and Minions, iOS and Android. Promising no pay-to-win mechanics and the gameplay of Diablo and Torchlight, ETERNIUM, Mage and Minions is a solid, visually appealing action RPG experience. Though the range of playable classes seems limited, new content is added on a regular basis. There's also a decent endgame system with champion levels and the Trials of Valor mode to battle through. The antagonist being named Ragadam might take some getting used to though. Marvel Strike Force, iOS and Android. Who do you call when the Marvel Universe is in peril? The Agents of Strike, of course. In this turn-based role-playing title, players can assemble teams of heroes like Spider-Man and Captain America alongside classic villains like Loki and Venom to battle a greater threat. Partake in 5v5 battles, chain together combos, and upgrade your team to ultimately win. Keep in mind that in-app purchases are applicable in this game. Wayward Souls, iOS and Android. If you've ever wanted a roguelite mixed with Zelda-style gameplay and the difficulty of Dark Souls, Wayward Souls may tickle your fancy. Boasting 6 character classes, each with their own abilities and items, players traverse through multiple procedurally generated levels and steadily increase their skills with each challenge. The difficulty might be off-putting for some, but Wayward Souls still offers a fun roguelite experience without any in-app purchases. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, iOS and Android. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, before BioWare became known for troubled development and crappy loot systems, it delivered one of its best games ever. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic is everything a Star Wars fan could want with its Jedi combat, quest structure, memorable characters, and awesome narrative. Though the controls have been optimized for mobile devices, this isn't a pared-down experience by any means, and it's well worth picking up. Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, iOS. A mobile title based on Monster Hunter Portable 2nd G, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite is only available for iOS. While you might prefer a controller over the touchscreen controls for hunting, this is still a Monster Hunter in all of its glory. Hunt monsters, master different weapons, and partake in 4-player co-op battles, all in glorious 2048 by 1536 resolution, on the iPad of course. The Banner Saga 2, iOS and Android. If you must choose, The Banner Saga 2 is easily better. It presents tough choices and permanent consequences while retaining the same tactical combat. The new characters and Horseborn race add to the experience, but the best part is Austin Wintory's incredible orchestral score that evokes the sense of a Viking world in ruins. Darkest Dungeon, Tablet Edition, iOS. Red Hook Studios' brutal dungeon crawling needs very little introduction. Though it's limited to tablets on iOS, the Lovecraftian horrors, affliction system, and 15 playable classes still make for an addictive experience. Darkest Dungeon provides dozens of hours of gameplay as you traverse ever further into the heart of madness, and it's simply a no-brainer for fans of the tough turn-based RPGs. Old School RuneScape, iOS and Android. Take the magic of RuneScape as it was in 2007 and throw in several quality-of-life changes and content updates. That's Old School RuneScape in a nutshell, and it's currently more popular than the contemporary version. It's free on mobile, though subscribers get heaps of benefits, and it offers the same epic puzzles, massive world, and sheer variety of content as its desktop version. Sure, the graphics may not be the best, but gameplay is king, plus it's free. The World Ends With You Solo Remix, iOS and Android. It didn't exactly make for the best Switch port, but The World Ends With You Solo Remix is still very good on iOS and Android. The original game's touchscreen combat translates incredibly well to mobile devices and tablets, while the visuals are as crisp as ever. Filled with interesting encounters via the pin system, a surprisingly deep story, and groovy tunes, The World Ends With You Solo Remix should be played immediately. VALKYRIE Profile LENNETH, iOS and Android. A premium title in every sense of the word, VALKYRIE Profile LENNETH on mobile devices is a faithful port of the PSP title, which itself modernized the first game. The combo-based combat and Norse-inspired story are backed by auto-battle options, the ability to save anywhere, and optimized touchscreen controls. Whether it's the substantial campaign and decision-making or the timeless soundtrack, Valkyrie Profile LENNETH is an instant classic. Galaxy of Pen and Paper, iOS and Android. Much like Knights of Pen and Paper, Galaxy of Pen and Paper offers the chance to roleplay as a party and their game master. The difference here is that players will be heading into space, choosing various sci-fi themed classes and ultimately rolling the dice with spaceship battles and branching paths. It may not be the longest RPG for desktop users, but Galaxy of Pen and Paper works great on mobile. Transistor, iOS and Android. If you haven't played it on PS4, PC, or Nintendo Switch, then Supergiant Games' Transistor is well worth visiting on mobile. The story of Red and the mysterious Transistor as they battle the process through Cloudbank is a memorable journey. Boasting an unorthodox combat system that mixes real-time and turn-based, stellar voice work, and excellent music, Transistor is as good as it gets. Shin Megami Tensei Liberation DX2, iOS and Android. Take control of the Liberators, a group of erstwhile individuals who can control demons with a smartphone app called the Devil Downloader, or DX2. Shin Megami Tensei Liberation DX2 is tailor-made for mobiles, and while it does include gacha mechanics and microtransactions, it still has the same fast-paced combat that the series is known for. The Shin Megami Tensei flavor further extends to the compelling story, interesting characters, and multitudes of demons to collect. Dungeon Rushers, iOS and Android. As yet another turn-based dungeon-crawling RPG, Dungeon Rushers features a decently long campaign with multiple environments, in-depth class management, and heroic difficulty for dungeons. You can even choose to attack other players' dungeons to earn loot. But don't worry, all in-app purchases are purely cosmetic. Dungeon Rushers is a decent time waster, even if it doesn't boast the best combat on this list. And that wraps it up. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos daily. Also, don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon, that way you don't miss out on any of our videos.